Finally, be yet all of one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren. Not my will but thine, O Lord, be done in me and through me. Let me ever be a channel of blessings, today, now, to those that I contact in every way. Let my going in, my coming out be in accord with that thou would have me do, and as the call comes, here am I, send me, use me. Cooperation in the physical is defined as acting or operating jointly with others, concurring with others in action or effort. In the spiritual it is more. It is losing sight of self and becoming a channel through which blessings may flow to others. The blessing is cooperation in action. Whether in the spiritual or physical, action is necessary to put cooperation into operation, thus those who would come together for a common cause must have united action in the pursuit and realization of a common end. The best in life is ours, not at the expense of others, but in harmonious cooperation. In every successful organization the law is in effect. The heavens declare the hand which formed them was the hand of unity, order, and harmony. All nature follows the same law. Each part of the human body performs its duty without a thought of the other, yet fully depending each upon the other. When self is lost in the ideal, cooperation is the natural result. It is the natural consequence of self-service, self-sacrifice, self-bewilderment in him. In whatever state we find society, let us meet it upon its own level. As we look up, we lift it. That is cooperation. To crucify self's ideals to the whims or fancies of any man is not development for the body. Find thy ideal spiritually. This isn't preaching. This isn't giving just a good policy. This is obeying the law. The law of man and the law of God. And these coordinated will make a success out of even an ass. Then, do make thyself coordinate with the laws of God, with the laws of nature, with the laws of man, and ye will find that thy abilities will mean much. Please give such advice and counsel as will aid me in getting a better hold on myself and in meeting the various conditions that arise from time to time. A self-analysis of the desires and wishes, and the fixing of self as toward some ideal outside of self will enable the body to better meet, mentally and materially, those conditions and problems that present themselves from time to time. These, as the body, the mental abilities, will recognize, are necessary. For one to have an ideal to make for the impulse and activities towards working for some conditions as outside of self. Do the first things first. Seek the spiritual life, in and through the mental application of same. Live it, not profess it alone. Let the activities, the deeds of the body, speak rather than the words of the mouth. And we will find more of those things really sought by the entity may be accomplished. Hold fast to that thou hast purposed in thine heart to do. For, having set foot on the path, look not backward. Remember Lot's wife. Look up, lift up, even as ye may lift others in thy service, in thy activity in instructing in all or any of those channels in which ye choose to give expression to the glories of nature and of God, in the Christ consciousness. Are we, as individuals, ready to be used? Then, blessed is he that is not found doubting. Is what is holding me back physical or laziness? Rather that of indecision, in contriteness. Purge thy mind, thy body. Make thyself one with him. Why do I not make a more continuous effort? Is thy purpose a single one? Or art thou seeking, without putting into practice that thou knowest? The less and less of self, then, the more and more of, thy will, not mine, be done in me and through me, the greater becomes the abilities, the greater becomes the harmonies, the greater joy there is seen in the experiencing of associations and activities with others. And life becomes not a bed of flowers or roses but worthwhile. Things and conditions and experiences become a part of the entity's activities. There are some individuals in the inner circle of this association that are becoming somewhat panicky in themselves. Stabilize them by thine stabilizing of thine own self, in thine counsel. For these will make for greater expansions and greater activity in all the lines of same, if the word from self will aid them who have, just faltered. Do not allow hindrances of not being as others to cause too great a depressing effect upon the purposes, aims, hopes of the body. Know that the author of life, the author of hope, even as in him, is able to bring that in thine own experience in and through which ye may be the greater blessings to others, and contribute thus daily in thy associations with others, a hope and a glorifying of his holy name. Seeking as individuals in a cooperative manner to show themselves approved unto God, workmen that need not be ashamed, rightly divining the words of truth, should be the purpose, the aim, the desire of each and every individual that associates or affiliates itself with such a group. in presenting in their experience that which may be gained from the study of that prepared as the thought to lead or guide, is the purpose, that each soul would find development for itself to become a better channel, a better servant of the Lord that each seeks to manifest in its individual life. And as a group, present same in such a cooperative way and manner as to make for an influence that may induce or lead others to make their lives as channels for a greater service in His name. Not that any individual would be, should be, compelled, or sought, other than they that are called in His name, that they as individuals, as a group, may show forth the Lord's death till He come again. This should be the purpose, the aim, the desire. As to how each may better accomplish this in the experience, it is the development and the unfoldment of a practical, a manifested, an exemplified life in the service of the Master. And, as He has given, a new commandment give I unto you, that ye love one another, that ye keep that which is committed unto thee against that day when each must in its own way present that it has builded in thee its experience as a service unto him that gave. If ye love me, keep my commandments, and I will come and abide with thee. I will not leave thee comfortless, but will give that ye ask in my name, believing, for I go to the Father and ye that abide in me abide in the Father also. Let those that are sincere, that are honest with themselves, seek not the differences in the organizations but where they may cooperate. And as they do, you will find as with these that are gathered here, they are of many faiths, many creeds, yet they find one common purpose, good to thy fellow man. So, as those that have found in this vision, in this interpretation, or in that promotion or in that experience of this or that nature, seek rather the common interest where there is cooperation, rather than the differences. And then if any group, if any organization, if any association has not this, it has not the full soul. Each of you gathered here have your own individual development. Yet as each seeks to be a channel of blessings to the fellow man, each attunes self to the throne of universal information. And there may be accorded you that which may be beneficial, not only in thine own experience, but that which will prove helpful, hopeful, in the experience of others. Many an one may question you as to the sources, as to the channel through such information that may be given you at this time has come. Know it has reached that which is as high for each of you in your respective development as you have merited, and do merit. And has accorded and does accord to the realm of light that which may be aidful and helpful in thine own experience, and in the experience of those that ye in your service to thy fellow man may give unto others. We would counsel that the entity analyze and study same, not other than that which answers within self. For, know that within is the divine, and that alone which answers to the divine within may be creative, helpful, or good in the experience of the entity. It is not that which ye know that counts, but that ye do about it in thy relationships to others. Whether by the act of volition or the act of commission. For, that ye are speaks so loud, seldom is what ye say heard for long unless the activities and words agree. Has any progress been made in the last 2 or 3 incarnations? There is progress whether ye are going forward or backward. The thing is to move. Do not condemn self. Rather make self's life one of service to an ideal, and leave the whole in the hands of the creative forces that rule the destinies of every soul. Make self more and more in accord with that which is of his ways, the Master's ways, and leave the results in his hands. For, in him, we live and move and have our being. Let thy prayer then be, rather, not my way, Lord. Rather have thine own way with the activities of myself, my mind, my body, my soul. Now give this body, 900, that information which will lead him, when in communion with his God, and when in vision while asleep, to the knowledge of why the soul was fated to enter into all these experiences in order to develop of its own free will to perfection, and then return to God, when God first created souls in a perfect state. Was it to force the spirit to choose with its will the righteous path to God, in spite of any circumstances and conditions? Was it to see if that which once created perfect would return to the perfect? Explain and illustrate. This we find has been given, and is manifest in the life of the lowly Nazarene. As has been given, man was made a little lower than the angels, yet with that power to become one with God, while the angel remains the angel. In the life, then, of Jesus we find the oneness made manifest through the ability to overcome all of the temptations of the flesh, and the desires of same, through making the will one with the Father. For as we find, oft did he give to those about him those injunctions, those who have seen me have seen the Father, and in man, he, the Son of Man, became one with the Father. Man, through the same channel, may reach that perfection, even higher than the angel, though he attend the God. The entity in gaining the lessons from these, are to clothe them in that form and manner that will be acceptable to the diners, or the multitudes, that they may gain the lessons as are to be give to the peoples. For as again we see the truths being presented in these various manners, that the entity has the message which is to be the correlation between the old, as it were, and the new, giving a new understanding to the various phases of conditions as has been presented to the world from time to time, and not that a new thought, not that a new way, but the new way of correlating the truths in each and presenting them in such a manner as to be holy and acceptable and entertaining and beneficial to all. See? A wonderful correlation of conditions, were the entity to but gain the true import as to the lesson as is taught here. For we have many that have come since that will be builded on the truths, and in this also there is seen much of the self-satisfaction, which must not make of entity a recluse, or one not sought after in every form of association with peoples, but that same may be presented in the way and manner as is seen. See? For, as we may have in this, as the ensample which is set before men, see? In the life, in the manner of presenting the truths as were given in that period and age, we see in the man, called Jesus, one of the ones who present truths to the learned, to the ignorant, to the lowly, to those in high estate. Never seeking to push self in any manner, yet ever being meeting every question that is presented to him in the questioning, whether of the lowly, of those taken in sin, or those taken questioning of authority. Yet ever a social physical being, ever one dining well, ever one knowing to be of high estate, yet making self in the way and manner to meet the needs of all, even unto the death on the cross. And as this entity, 900, then, gathers the various lessons as are to be the correlation of the truths as are found in those messages of past, in the day when the Prince of Peace gave his message, in the days when the insurrections arose and by force these truths were attempted to be made statutory, and in the hours when peace again is sought, and in the present day, when the various truths are given as lessons in the daily walks of life, then, may this entity through these forces gain that access to that at oneness that gives the greater message to the many. See?